Hey, 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 everybody. Welcome to Keeping It Spiritually Simple. I'm your host, Sandra McEllis, and I'm always going to do my best to keep it here at 20 minutes or less. So, my goal for doing this particular podcast and putting it out on the platforms is to give power punched, real stories that are occurring not only in the news, but in your own personal life. And 20 minutes is about where the brain capacity is. You go much further than that, and we just drift. We just drift off. Well, we don't tune in because I don't have more than 20 minutes to actually listen to this. So the 20 minutes that came up for me, that time frame, was all is spirit driven. And so this whole show is spirit driven. It's whatever source creator, God, spirit in the sky, spirit within yourself, whatever you want to call that higher power is what innately drives me. I call it my intuitive. I am all that is, and all that is, I am. I am source creator of all that is, and all that is of source creator is me. So that's how I live my life on the daily. So, setting up this podcast was really truly about how can I bring information, keep it in a short time so people's attention isn't lost, but give them valuable enough information that promotes inquisitiveness, promotes you to be inquisitive, to want to know more. So, any guest I have on is spirit driven to ask. The invitation isn't given unless my innate self, my God source being, my intuitive self says, hey, you need to invite that person. 9 times out of 10, they come on. That's how I started my YouTube channel. It was all spirit driven. And the only people I asked on was what spirit guided me towards them. And, I had such an interesting time because I thought, I can't do videos. I can't, I'm not good enough for that. I've got a wonky voice with only one vocal cord. My voice is going to squeak. I'm going to have to clear my throat. I turned 20 shades of red. I can't do this. But Spirit said, yes, you can. Can you trust us? Can you trust the God within you to guide you? And can you just do little bits and pieces? And then when we tell you to invite somebody, we will provide you with an email or some kind of way to contact this person that you would like to have on. And do you know that every single time it's worked out, and 99% of the time, people have said yes, even though I was a very small channel and I'm still very small because Spirit also said to me, do not do this for subscribers. Do this to touch one heart at a time. Do this to awaken and empower just one recipient, just one. Can you do that? Because that's how I receive information. I don't care if the crowds are following somebody. If I don't resonate, I don't listen anymore. And that's how I operate. And I know that there's a lot of people out here who operate similar to me. Now, another thing about me, Sandra McEllis, is that my first and primary communicational skill is feelings. So everything comes into me from this outer energetic cloud. And it comes through, and I begin to navigate through these feelings that I may have. And then I have to figure out how to translate those so I have some kind of understanding of it. And then, of course, my limited vocabulary of many decades on this earth, I try to explain it. And I try to explain it with how I feel it. And so most of my life I've been misunderstood because I just couldn't get the words out or finesse something enough to get the majority of people that came across my path throughout my decades here on this earth to understand who I am. So I've been misunderstood. And that's okay, because it's taken me enough decades to go, I don't care. I'm good. The thing is, am I learning how to communicate with me? Am I navigating the earth path that I came in to do through my authentic God self? Or am I following the masses and the majorities and what my siblings or my family, because that's the first place you learn, right? And then when you get out into the world, who am I following there? And I don't do so well at following, and I'm not easily influenced. Thank God. So it used to always have me exit stage left. And I even found later in life that my own physical body, I could be facing straight, but one foot would be tilted. And my aunt recently told me, Sandy, you've always had a contingency plan. And I have. So it's like I've always got one foot in the door, one foot out the door. And it's because I'm learning all my pathways of communication. So, anyway, back to keeping it spiritually simple, back to why I'm doing this podcast, why I do my YouTube. I have to clear my throat. This will happen to me. And I used to find it really annoying. And I would just cut the video and walk away furious in the beginning. Spirit's like, nope, you're human. Clear your throat. Doesn't matter. People will stick with you. So, hey, thank you for sticking with me. So, anywho, understanding who I am and what makes me tick, and expanding upon this human and being okay to stand on my own postage stamp and feel strong and confident with who I am. And so everything I do in my private practice with clients is to empower you. Don't look to me for all the answers, even though I'm highly intuitive and I can translate a lot of the information back to you so that you pick it up with your sensory receptors, feeling, visual, audio, touching, etc. You will figure out what your lines of communication are of what it is that's coming through my lips and also through my energy field when you're in my presence. And so I know that this also happens through my vocals when I do any kind of social media or take a microphone. So I don't allow my throat to get all locked up, but I'm allowing myself through my heart, because every single thing I say and do is never rehearsed. It comes out in the moment through intuitive thought. Through intuitive thought, non-rehearsed, impromptu, and it comes through in ways that I just have to go with it. And even afterwards, I may not even remember anything that I said. So again, let's reel it back into keeping it spiritually simple and why I started this. I started this because I want to empower each and every one of you to know that as an you think you're average or below average, you can do anything that you choose to do. And stepping away from the glares and the feelings of approval from others and truly getting into your own skin and doing what's right for you in the now moment. And then through that, opening the pathways of creativity and opening up other synapses, other pathways that take you more into other sensories that tap into more of the God sensory versus the physical human sensory system. And then how do you bring this and pair it together in perfect harmony? And it takes practice, my friends, because I will always say stop, drop, sit, connect with your breath. Whatever you want to master, you better stop and hone in and skill it in order to take it to another level. So these things are just super important. So today, I just finished videoing with Kendall McIntosh. She's a functional medicine nutritionist. She's here in the area. She's a personal friend. she's very busy with the getting the word out on things that have been censored and shut down or considered foo-foo or woo-woo or conspiracy. She does a lot of different testing outside of allopathic nutritionist testing to help you understand and get to root causes of the who of you and why things may be occurring and how to make things better, how to get you to be and feel and do and sense and see to become that God source self that you were here destined to be, that you incarnated to do. So when you're not feeling well or up to par, it's a hindrance. It blocks you from allowing that natural flow to occur. So today we talked about spike proteins, we talked about the vaccines, we talked about the shedding, we talked about some detoxes with that. We also had another video on the MTHFR gene, the gene mutation that doesn't allow you to convert folic acid to folate, which is your B9. So we talked about that. And Kendall comes into my office once a month in Rockville, Maryland, and we team up with another nurse practitioner, and it's under the umbrella of Reinventing Medicine. And so it's where outside the box practitioners come together and allow a little Q&A and interaction so that we can pick topics that can help you understand you and what makes you tick and how you can tick better. So that's something we do. Now this week upcoming, I have Shay Sparks of the Shay Sparks Show. She and I met a couple years ago on Real Talk Radio, and she is why I went on to podcasting, because she said, Sandy, you're destined for a different platform. So she introduced me to Heroes Media, and it has been a game changer for me. It has been a game changer for me. And so Heroes Media has helped me set everything up. And me, who absolutely is technology challenged, and I get very discombobulated around energetics, such as computers, radios, and phones, and power lines. Why? Because I'm very in tune with my etheric energetic body. And so it's a zapper for me. And so it's like putting a taser gun to my nervous system. So my Heroes Media has really set me up to begin this new journey of podcasting. And so Shay was very instrumental in that. So I just want her to come on my show and talk to y'all about it. So I'll be uploading that later this week. And then, excuse me, I have Dr. Monique. I will not pronounce her last name. I'll let her do it for you. And she is a neuropsychonutritionist. She and I first met, there was just a connection. And when she began to tell me a little bit about what her background is as a neuroscientist, it was way over my head. It was information and words I had not heard of. But my feeling way of communicating translated it back to her. I said, so what I think I hear you say is you are the functional medicine of psychiatric and psychology, and you're doing deeper dives into why with mental health. And she looked at me like she had never quite heard that before, but she's like, yeah, that is what I do. So she is coming on, and I'm so excited, so excited. I have a busy week of recording this week, so I need to take care of my voice a little bit between allergies, I stay away from dairy and gluten as much as possible. Um, I do my deep breathing so that I can relax my vocal cords. So apparently I have an anomaly of a vocal cord paralysis. So only one vocal cord works. And it took me many decades of understanding that and going in and out of hoarseness and strain of my voice. And I had to have a surgery where they put an implant in. So they strengthen one vocal cord so that the other one can smack against it to make the sounds that sound like words. Although I do mumble at times because I get a lot on my plate. And then this whole fifth chakra locks up. And then we're not even going to get into the emotional component of is what do I say and is what I have to say important or of value? And the answer to that question is absolutely. Everyone needs to clear their fifth chakra and open up this neck area and get this vagus nerve working to optimality so that your vocal cords can do what they need to do so that the heart and the brain have a clear pathway. And then you're fully connected through all your chakras. So anyway, I'm being told spiritually to wrap it up here. Wrap it up, keep it 20 minutes or less so you guys have a little understanding about Keep It Spiritually Simple, how it kind of incarnated, and how we are just starting. And so your subscriptions and your likes and your subscribes and your comments and your sharing is very heartfelt. And it is a necessity when it comes to social media that in order for these invisible algorithms to pick you up and spit you out and circulate you, they have to have X amount of views, likes, comments, shares, subscribers. So I didn't get into any of this to be monetized, not at all. I got into this to start helping one person at a time. And also, it's a platform for me to share intuitive messages that come through. And I do that more on my YouTube channel. I don't know how it's going to develop here on this platform of podcasting, which is all audio. So if you want to see my face and put a voice to the face and my personality, which is wild and weird and happy and joyful all the freaking time, because it's just innately who I am, because I follow a different path and I'm okay that I don't fit into certain groups. And, you know, I've been able to hone it in and skill it and have a little bit of mastery so that if someone hands me a microphone, I let downloads come in to my physical self through my energetic feelers. And then I translate them to the best of my ability in hopes that some vibration will transfer to you, to your heart, to your mind, and help you be a better person in the today and in the now. All right. So thank you again for all your support. And Keep It Spiritually Simple is just a motto I have, because it just doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be difficult, because if it is, you won't do it. If it is, you'll follow a regimen that may not be really working with your innate rhythm. And I want to work with your innate rhythm. I want to help you get off the standard beat that everyone else is on, step aside and take a good look, see inside who you are before you start trying to portray yourself on the outside. So you're creating an inner persona and perfecting it more for the authentic. And then taking that authentic and bringing it out into your outer world. And I'm going to promise you, my friends, the more you work on this inner self and understand how uniquely beautiful and sculpted and created you are as a God source being, the more compassion, the more love, the more understanding is going to flow through you, to you, for you, and for the all. So if we can start being a better human, one human at a time, then I'm doing my job. I'm doing what Spirit asked me to do. Even though sometimes I bucket, I will go to leave. I am ready to walk out the door. I've got a really busy day, and Spirit will say, pull a U-turn. We got something we want you to put out. I always listen. I may not even know what that is until the camera comes on, but I do it because it's the faith I have in myself and in my God self. And I'm carving my own path, and I'm welcoming each and every one of you to get on this path and to find your path within my path, and then carve a different path that we may have some similarities, but it still makes you uniquely you. All right. So much love, everybody. Keep it spiritually simple. See you all in the next video. Bye.